So 3 very important films that actually leave us with many, many thoughts and inspirations and, actions to take forward. I think the theme from yesterday that we are carrying over is not just nature, but actually, for those of you who were here yesterday, women's labor. That comes across in all the 3 films. May I invite Vivek Sangwan, please, from Thengapalli team here, so that you can join us for the discussion.
I think all 3 films are very good. As countries become developed and as women get more empowered, educated, we see less damage to the environment as well. So there's a close connection. If you look at the story of the Arunachal Pradesh women, a lot of them are actually eager to leave the place and become, they don't want to leave it, but they want to become empowered in some sense. So I think apart from environmentalism, which we should all care about, we should also look at poverty as a bigger issue. As long as we have starving people, hungry people, I think people would care less about the environment as well.
Actually, ನಾವು ಇದು ಒರಿಸ್ಸಾದು ಮತ್ತು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ತುಂಬ ವುಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ವಿತ್ ನೇಚರು ಮತ್ತು ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಜೊತೆ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ನು ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ವಿತ್ ಬೇರೆ ಲೊಕೇಶನು ಮತ್ತು ಬೇರೆ ಏರಿಯಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅಂಟಿಂಗ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಮೆನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ವುಮೆನಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬೈ ಬರ್ತ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ವಿತ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಜೊತೆ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೊಂದು. ಮತ್ತು ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡಾಗಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ವುಮೆನ್ ತುಂಬ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು 2021 ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂತು. ಆಗ ರೆಕಗ್ನೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು ಸಹ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದರು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ 1 ಇಯರ್ ಇದ್ದರು. ಬಟ್ ಆಗಲೂ ರೆಕಗ್ನೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈಗಲೂ ರೆಕಗ್ನೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಅವರು ಅನಾರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗೇ ಕಾಣ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಥ್ರೂ ದಿಸ್ ಫಿಲಮ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ರೂಮ್ ಅದು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಜೊತೆಲಿ. ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ನು. ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲು ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗು ಇದೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ವರೆಗೂ ವಿತ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಪವರ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಪವರ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ, ಆ ವೆಪನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಮೈನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು.
So you were talking about poverty, but I feel that is a different thing. And see, those aspirations also is coming in a different way. People living in forest are not really, they're not, you don't have to say that they're living in poverty. They are self-sufficient, they're eating better food than what we are eating. Right? So the problem happens when someone from outside is coming and taking that away from them. The traditional knowledge is much more powerful than what we think science has been doing. And science also we think, okay, हम लोग ने lab में कुछ बना लिया, कुछ निकाल दिया, and that's perfect. They have been doing this for centuries. The thing is that traditional knowledge is going away, and people who want to go in the cities are not the older women. It's the younger people who are getting education, and in the education, all they get to know is, you need to go out and follow one form of development, right? So that thing is, if you ask a child who is 5 years old, okay, one is going to school, one is not. The person going to school will say, okay, a good life means good house, bigger, electricity, all these things. But the person, as in the child who didn't go to the school, is going to say better forest, better food, better life. So now my point is not that education galat hai. Education is okay, but what kind of education? And you can't leave the traditional education behind, jiske liye koi value nahi hoti hai. So that also has to be part of the modern education. And it's not, we can't leave, choose between two. So the struggle is going to be to reach a stage where both the things can coexist.
I have come across in a very small way Kaigal, which is tied up with Valley School.
So they send this city kids back there to have an experience with the tribals. And in there, they have set up local education system where the children are encouraged to maybe read and write like what we are doing. But along with that, they go to the forest with their elder generations to learn about the forest knowledge. So that is one glimpse I have seen where they're working at that. So I just felt I should share it with you.
All the three films, in fact, is a critique of development, because now the films represent the deep desire for self-respect, dignity, and self-sufficiency. If you see the films, what we see is that their subsistence wealth is taken away from them. It's an extremely complex economic situation the films are trying to deal with. None of us have any immediate answers or solutions to this.
Firstly, man originated from one source. One section of man decided to live with nature. Another section of man decided to use nature for his development. Particularly, most of us here today are that sector who have used nature, and eventually now I think we've come to a stage where we have destroyed nature. The people we actually call Adivasis are the people who decided to live with nature and develop through nature an ecosystem. Today, the same people, if they're fighting for their lands, we brand them as Maoists, Naxalites, etc., and we gun them down. But actually, they are the ones who would have saved our planet. We are the ones who have destroyed it.
I think we shouldn't feel sad or say, Yes. I think the women that were shown here were pretty, I don't know if I can use this term, but pretty badass. And they were super courageous. And that is something that we really need to be we need to fight like that,
The Prime Minister keeps on telling Atmanirbhar. Do you think that he will come and sit and learn from these girls, these women from the village, real Atmanirbhar of India?